Yes, please.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Welcome to IIU station. My name is Herdiana from Indonesia, and I'm going to be a research person for today. Now, before we get started, let me introduce our amazing platform. Yes, it's the one and only International Internship University. IRU is a leading virtual education system and global brain confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well-reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it's a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all young learners of the globe. IRU is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internship to their e-learners across the globe with the help of its 1,000 plus global educators. In a short span of time, IRU has spread its wing in 199 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Pius Henderson. Wow, what a wonderful platform, and I'm so grateful and happy to be here with all of you right now. So my topic for today is innovative minds unleashing the entrepreneurial spirit in the digital era. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so as I have introduced myself, my name is Herdiana from Indonesia, and I'm an entrepreneur, CEO and founder of this education center, Brancy Firm, and HDN staff. And besides that, I'm also a certified LD Master Practitioner, entrepreneurship and business coach, certified employee performance coach, and also a professional workshop facilitator. And today the topic is very important because we live in the digital age, right? And before we're going to continue to the lesson, I'm going to highlight the outline for today. We're going to talk about the changing landscape of entrepreneurship, characteristics of innovative minds, digital tools for entrepreneurs, challenges and opportunities for innovative minds, and the last one is strategies for unleashing the entrepreneurial spirit. So, without any further ado, let's start with the first quote. I think this is one of the most famous quotes for entrepreneurs around the world. Never start a business just to make money, but start a business to make a difference. Because when we talk about being an entrepreneur, and if you want only to make a profit, then we might stop at a time where it doesn't profit for us. So that's why we have to set a clear intention in the beginning, how to set a vision, how to set a mission in the clear, and we want to make a difference not only just to make the money. Of course, we have to make the money for living, right? But a good entrepreneur, they know that they start a business to make a difference. So in entrepreneurship and innovation is really crucial, especially we live in this digital age. We know that we have so much advanced technology that can really help maybe the young entrepreneurs or even startups that can actually make our work much efficient. And also, let's say it's really easier to build a business nowadays compared to 10 years ago, for example. And we know that in this digital economy, we can bring so many opportunities as long as we have a good innovation, as long as we want to keep learning to really make the advanced technology beneficial for us and for the society. So with the changing landscape of entrepreneurship, it really brings the most big four benefits for us. First, it can increase connectivity because this digital technology can enable businesses to connect with customers, suppliers, and partners more easily and at lower cost than ever before. For example, compared to maybe 15 years ago or 10 years ago, where we have to advertise, let's say in a billboard, it costs so much more. But nowadays, when we want to put advertise in online platform, it costs less expensive than those things, and it can reach more people with a more great target audience, because nowadays with the algorithm that people have made it advanced, we can reach the target audience with a clear really the clear balance things that we want. For example, we want to reach those people in India, in Indonesia, or those people who usually shopping online, maybe for buying bag or maybe for buying foods and eating. So we can make it more specific. And then this can really create new opportunities for entrepreneurs to build business that leverage the connection. Next, it can also bring new business models that we know that the new business models has emerged nowadays. Like we know we have so much marketplace around the world. We also have seen that some kind of the social media platform, they offer subscription services that really bring benefits for the creators, and maybe sharing economy platform as well. So this model have disrupted traditional industries and created new opportunities for entrepreneurs. For example, marketplace. We know like many entrepreneurs started their offline store, or maybe they start with selling foods, clothes, or many other things that we usually need in our daily life. But with the advance of digital era, everything seems like in our hand. We can simple click ABCD things. We can buy things from even across the globe in our fingertips. So it makes us easier. Not only it can increase the connectivity for suppliers and customers, but it can also these new models can also bring more confidence and confidence for the suppliers and the customer as well. Next is the big data. So with the big data, it enables businesses to collect, analyze, and act on vast amounts of data in real time. That's why, like I have said, for example, if you want to make advertisement on Facebook or maybe on any kind of social media platform, you can set a range of amount. You can set the target of the age. You can set also the gender, or maybe more make it more specific, like their behavior, or maybe the what kind of the things they usually buy in daily basis. And this can happen with our big data. So thanks for the advanced technology, we can make it really in a fast and real amount time, because when we back to the traditional business, for example, we have to collect the data manually. So when it comes to manual data, it means it takes time, right? And sometimes human made error in many times. So let's say this big data have less risk, but it doesn't mean that 100% guarantee there is no error thing. Of course, we might cannot expect it to be perfect, but let's say it's less risk than the manual one. And this can also create new opportunities for entrepreneurs to build business that use data analytics to drive growth and innovation. For example, I'm going to launch my business called Brand Firm, and it's for public relation. And I use the kind of data that internet can provide to me to collect the information about the behavior of the customers, or about the behavior of specific people in a certain age, like from the range of 20 to 30, what kind of the things that usually they buy in the weekend or in the holidays, or where do they usually spend in the maybe in the weekend, or what kind of the foods that they usually order on online. And we can actually collect all of the information there. But yeah, there's privacy issues as well sometimes that can arise in this case. But it's not something worse, because as an entrepreneur, we have to see the opportunities, even though it seems like there's too much dark side, but we have to maintain a growth mindset that there will be opportunities even in the dark time. Next is social media. So, like I have mentioned before, digital technology has enabled businesses to connect with customers and build brand awareness through social media platforms. Nowadays, even before pandemic, where many people spend more time, like even triple times on social media. We know that so many brands around the globe try to build their brand awareness. They try to bring their vision and mission globally and through social media because like it's much easier for them to grab the attention from any kind of user across the globe. And this really created new opportunities for entrepreneurs to build businesses that leverage social build awareness as well. And it can really reach customer and make the communication that regenerate the response as well. For example, like when we talk about social media and there is hotline, there is website, there is social media, there is email option. Usually people going to reach the social media account first before they reach to the email because we know like when it comes to the email, it's more professional, right? And then it may take some because we got QE in the inbox, so maybe to get a really fast attention from the owner or from the manager of that business, we tend to reach their social media account. For example, I have seen so many tweets on Twitter where, let's say, the millennials tend to complain on Twitter rather than they send email. Like they got a problem, for example, and they tell the story of their problem on their tweet, and so many people get engaged and involved on their tweet. And by that time, it can grab easily the attention of the business owner. So with that said, we can notice how powerful the social media in this digital era because it can really build your business in the top level, but on the other hand, it can also bring your business to the down when you cannot maintain it really well. Because yeah, everything spreads so fast on the internet, and sometimes it's really difficult to handle it. So as you can see, we know that there are so many startups in this world because like we also have to admit and notice that startups play a critical role in disrupting traditional industries because they can introduce new products, service and business model that challenge established players. Let's say like no matter how big the company is, usually there will be new startup with a better ideas with a better approach. So this startup usually disrupt the traditional industry in the term of innovative products and services, disruptive business model, agile development, access to funding, and also digital technology. Because yeah, we know that young minds tend to innovate many things, and we call it from all the problems that we listen to other people. That's why in the business we have to listen the customer problems, the customer feedbacks, and etc. Because we can come up with new ideas by listening those things. When we don't want to listen the feedbacks of the customer or maybe the problem that our customer is facing, then we are going to be uh, businesses or entrepreneur who's going to stuck in that moment because there is no improvement when we don't want to listen. So for example, in the industries like transportation, we got Uber and Lyft, right? Like we know that we have Uber. Even in my country, we have a different thing called like Gojek, Grab. So they connect to each other not only for our mobility, but for food and for delivering package. So it really reflects the traditional businesses that has established from many years before. And in the hospitality, we also have Airbnb, where it really replaced the traditional way. And in the retail, the one that maybe people has noticed, like this is a really big change, is like Amazon. You know, like how it can make Jeff Bezos become a rich person, right? So with everything, like I have said, like we are sitting at home right now, we just keep seeing on our screen, and with our fingertip, we are going to order and choose whatever we want to eat or whatever we want to wear maybe in the next day. So everything and everything just it comes to so easily nowadays compared to the times back to 10 or 20 years ago. So yeah, again, we have to be thankful for the advancement of the technology, and not only in the retail and hospitality, but we also have in the financial services. Maybe back to a 20 or 10 years ago, we only know PayPal, right? When we want to make international payment, we usually use PayPal. I personally use PayPal for years, and nowadays we have Stripe, we have Square. When you want to make an online store and you want to deliver your products across the globe, you can really install and use the Square and Stripe easily for your online store. And it can really connect to your account much easier compared to if you use regular PayPal, for example. So we can admit and notice that the startups and the challenge established players, it's really bring a new way business model, right? And as a result, traditional industry are having to adapt and innovate in order to keep up with this rapid force of startup. Because when we cannot adapt it, like even in my country, for example, Uber, we no longer have Uber, but we have the other different startups like Grab and Gojek, and they are not stopping just in that for mobility transportation or for online transportation. They tend to innovate new things. They expand from public transportation to become a food, to become sending package and so on. So I think even with the access of new business model from the advance of technology, any kind of startup can get or can let's say get more ideas from what other startups are doing right now. So let's say they tend to pick a one puzzle that needs in their place, and also we replace it in our place as well to make it seems like perfect for their customer. So now we got some kind of characteristic of innovative minds, because our topic for today is innovative minds. You know, like when we talk about innovative, we are close our brain to the innovation and also creativity, right? We know that those innovative minds must have creativity, because that it's really often characterized by their ability to think outside of box and also come up with really great solution, where even though they have so much complex problems. So with that said, the creativity is not something about creating a beautiful art only, but it means like they know actually how to solve the complex problems in a great way. So they are able to challenge the first perspective, for example, and they not thinking in the conventional thinking. They tend to think outside of the box, and like let's say they didn't take much from the case studies, because they know exactly what happened 10 years ago might be different implementation if we try to compare with what happened right now or even yesterday. Next is resilience. Those people with innovative minds tend to able to bounce back from setbacks and failures. And this kind of characteristic is really important as well for entrepreneurs, because we have to be resilient in order to achieve the success or any kind of the goals that we want, because there is no guarantee in everyone's lives that we are going to be perfect, or maybe we are going to success in the first try, right? So with the resilience, we able to bounce back again from the failures. We can see that the challenges or the failure as opportunities instead of blaming yourself and keep maybe keep blaming another people or environment as well. So in our life, we have a different path. One entrepreneur and the other entrepreneur might have the same business with the same goal, with the same value for customers, but they obviously have different paths. They have different journey, even though their destination is going to be same, but there is no guarantee that their journey, their path is completely same. So in order to be person who is going to achieve the same goal like those successful entrepreneur, we tend to be resilient. So we know exactly any kind of failure is opportunity for us to grow. Next characteristic is adaptability. So people with innovative minds tend to able to change circumstances and environments. So they're able to pivot strategies and approach based on new information or feedback. So let's say one startup tend to fail in the new launching product, right? And then with the adaptability of the manager, for example, they know exactly that they have some kind of feedback. Like I have said before, we learn new products, new ideas from the feedback, from the information. So we adapt to the challenging situation, we adapt to the new information that we have. Because when we don't know exactly what kind of the things that people need or what kind of the problems that people have, then we can't really get anywhere. Next is risk taking. So innovative minds are willing to take calculated risks in order to pursue new opportunities or ideas. They are not kind of coward people because yeah, some people tend to try to take a risk because like how about if I get failure, how about if I don't succeed this time, how about they got so many questions on their mind. So because of too many questions on their mind, they're not even taking the first step. But the first step is the most important thing as entrepreneur we have to take. How could we build a castle, empire, or any kind of things when we don't take that first step? So it's really dangerous when we don't want to risk ourselves to take the opportunities. We don't know like when we make a decision whether it's going to be successful or whether it's going to be bad. We just know that we have to take the first step and then yeah we see the things that going how it looks like how we can observe what's going on and the things around us but first we have to take the risk for taking the opportunities. Next is passion. So people with innovative minds also driven by a deep passion for their work. So they tend to work with what they love. But we know that so many people tend to work from their 9 to 5 job and that's not actually their passion. And we also have heard maybe from news or from social media influencer that so many people quit their job because they think like that's not my calling, that's not my passion. So when we don't work in our passion, we might okay, we are going to go to work at 9 a.m. and back to at home at 5. But then after a year, after 2 years, who knows? Some people get burned out even after their first year, and the other people get burned out and get overwhelmed and even stressed after their 3 years. We have never know how much the mental level of someone. So we have to keep in mind that we need to work based on our passion because this thing can really motivate us and make us to have a desire to create new things that can be really meaningful and really willing to put in time and effort. Imagine like you don't like your current job, for example, and then you have to work extra hours. How do you feel? Maybe you still sit in front of the laptop or in front of the computer to do your work, but your mind and your heart are not in front of the laptop and computer, and it ends up with making your work not completely to be like the way your ability actually can serve to the company. But when you work with a patient, for example, you obviously can give your best self to the project or to the work that you are doing. So these five traits usually really can be good if we can implement it, especially in this digital age. Notice that adaptability is one of the most important thing because we know like we live in the digital age where everything seems change so fast and if we don't want to change then we get left behind. So that's the things that we have to remember as well. So in order to have innovative minds, I think we can see the 5 steps that can we implement in our daily life. First, we have to observe. We can look at the world and get an idea from a current product or problem. It doesn't mean that, oh, okay, if I see from the current product, it means like I'm stealing the other person ideas. No, if you completely copy paste someone else or other company ideas, then you are being copycat, then you are being plagiarized. But if you tend to observe what the current product in your society that benefits most for the customers nowadays, and what kind of the minus things of that product, because let's say there's no 100 perfect product that can fully beneficial for customer, even the drinks that we like, for example. Maybe the taste is really great, we like the fruit taste and so on, but it can bring maybe long-term effect in our life. So there's no complete guarantee, and we can get that minus point from the other access product into our innovation, or we can also observe with the problem. When we observe all of the problem that people are having, then our solution can be a new service that can help people. So it means we can bring the new ideas to the people as well. Next is ask. Don't hesitate to ask. Like we can ask probing interesting questions about the current situation, because like I have said before, we have to learn from the feedback and for the information from the people that we think their response or their feedback, it's going to be worth to be in the project that you want to work in. So don't hesitate to ask the other person, but keep in mind that when you ask the other person for clarity, for example, you have to set a certain boundaries. Okay, don't make yourself sound like someone who is too much curious, but it end up like you want to taste that person. Because I know, like in our life, we might have a situation where you get questioned by the other person, but you feel like this person doesn't sound like asking me. This person sound like testing me because of that some kind of question, and we have to pay attention to that pattern. We have to make sure that those people we are going to ask is going to get the question that actually makes them comfortable to share as well. Okay, next is know. I mean, like have skills and knowledge that can be applied to solving a problem. Then how about if you don't know something? How about if you don't have that kind of skill? Then don't worry. We live in digital age. We can always take courses, even if it's supposed to be online courses, or like right now we are learning together from online platform. So there is no way that you cannot have specific skills. Even nowadays, there are so many platforms that offer free courses, free training that you can be benefits from it as long as you want to take, as long as you want to put effort and time on it. Next, it's great. So after you got enough knowledge, you can combine your knowledge and question to create something new, like from by what if I can solve someone who needs to cure blah blah blah, or what if someone else want to become in their frustration or depression blah blah, what if that those kind of what if question can really uh, give you new ideas about the new business service or business product. Because from that question, you can get insight that what actually people need. Because we make new products or new services based on what people need, not based on what I need or what you need only, right? We make it in a global scale. Next is revise. We also have to revise because we always need to analyze the innovative idea through a practical application and revise as needed. Because, like I have mentioned, there is no guarantee of a perfect product or a perfect service that maybe some product works on 10 people, but some product doesn't work on the other 20 people. So we have to revise and be ready. That's why innovative minds really need to be adaptable because if there's something changed, then we can know exactly what can be done or maybe what can be the step we will take after that. Okay. So next, after we talk about innovative minds, I want to highlight some most successful entrepreneurs, and I'm sure like many of you know this name. First, we know like Elon Musk. He is the founder and CEO of Tesla, Neuralink, and the Boring Company, even just bought Twitter as well. He is known for his creativity, resilience, and adaptability. So and risk taking as well. Now, this kind of traits that innovative mind really can bring into their successful entrepreneurial journey because like even the Elon Musk reached he already faced like how many loss for example after the space didn't get success in the first attempt, so you know exactly how to be resilient and setback and bounce back from any kind of challenge and setback, and he is willing to risk taking from his decision even though he knows like maybe it's not going to be good to spend a really huge amount of money for SpaceX, for example, but he's willing to do it. Next, we also got Sarah Blakely. She met a shared company that can be really a global brand and it's already bringing so much difference in many people. Next, we also have Jeff Bezos, founder and CEO of Amazon, and it's become one of the world's most valuable companies because yeah, we can buy anything from Amazon. We know that from books and clothes and everything. We can buy electronics in there as well. So he embodies the traits of creativity, resilience, adaptability, and risk taking. So with this kind of traits, it leads to numerous transformation and expansion into new industries because he's willing to learn new things. He can to really adaptability to the new technology nowadays. And next, we also know that we got Mark Zuckerberg, right, the CEO and founder of Facebook, which become one of the world's largest social media platform. From that Facebook, we know that then he bought the other things like Combine, even that you know WhatsApp is also owned by him. So we know that from one thing, entrepreneur can jump to the other thing as long as we are on the right path, right? And then we also have Oprah Winfrey. She becomes a media mogul, an entrepreneur who has built a successful career in television, film, and also publishing. So we know that Oprah has resilience because she has shared so many times like yeah she didn't success just for the first time or maybe just for the first attempt and then get everything she wants. No, she also has to learn how to accept the reality and also back again from what already happened. So the thing is that despite famous and rich people, they know exactly that if they need to stop because of there's something felt, it doesn't mean that they have to quit, right? They just need to take a break, for example, to refresh their minds, to get more clarity and ideas, but then they can continue again after the fail that they have faced. So in order to be this kind of people with the innovative mind, I get something that you can ask yourself if you want to be an entrepreneur in this digital age. First, why did you get started? You have to ask yourself the reason why you want to start, because when you don't really know exactly the reason why you want to serve a exact organization, for example, or if you don't know how to really make yourself or convince yourself that you need to do certain things, then you can really get burned out so fast. So you have to put the strong why did you get in the first place. Next, you also want to be someone who can be meaningful for other people, right? Then you can ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known as a successful entrepreneur in your field or in your niche, or do you want to be just regular people? And then next is, what are you most excited to create? Like I have mentioned before, you have to work based on your passion. So yeah, maybe you have so many desires, you have so many things that you want to work, but what are you most excited to create is your first priority. Next is, how will your work benefit your customers? Like I have said, we make new ideas, new products, new services based on the problems of other people, right? So we have to make sure, how can it bring valuable things? How can it bring benefits from our customer or from our society? Next is, what core value or beliefs underpin your work, and what's missing from your skills. Because when there's something missing, we want to complete it, make it a more beautiful way, make it the pattern clearer, and we want to make it, yeah, let's say we just simple want to make it in a meaningful way. Next is, how will you measure success? There are so many entrepreneurs don't realize that actually in order to leverage the business, in order to leverage ourselves, we have to measure our success, because each entrepreneur has their own different measurable about the success according to themselves, because some people might think like, I'm success if I reach a certain amount of money, or if my company receives some award or something like that. We have never know exactly. So we have to be the one who's going to make sure that how we are going to measure the success for the companies that we are going to build. Next is, I have 7 mindset shift for entrepreneurs. So yeah, let's say when you want to start a business, for example, we tend to so many negative self-talk. We tend to have a kind of blockage that's stopping our way to take even the first step, or maybe to stop when we are in the middle of the journey. So instead of saying, I cannot figure this out when you face the problem, try to say every problem has many solutions. There's no only one door. There's so many opportunities and new doors. Like 1 plus 3, for example, equal 4. It doesn't mean that 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4, right? So that's the example that there's so many solutions for every problem. Next is, if I work harder, I'll get better results. Actually, not, because we have heard so many people say, work smarter, not harder, right? So we can say to ourselves, like, success happens when I have fun. When you are enjoying the work you are doing with a passion, then you can get the success. Because no matter how much amount of money that you are going to get, you will get lonely or bored when you are not having fun with what you are doing. Next is, I'm so far behind. Maybe because you try to compare your stuff with another entrepreneurs or another businesses. And instead of say that, you can try to say yourself, I'm trading in my own way. Like I have said in the beginning, even though there's A, B, C, D entrepreneur in the same niche, in the same business, in the same year they started, they might have different patterns. Who knows? Like some entrepreneurs or some businesses have the great privilege from their parents, from their family, or from their environment. We have never known about it, right? Next is, when you are too scared to take action, try to say, fear means I'm onto something big. Because the thing that we can make the analyzing here is, when you feel about something, you feel small, right? But if you feel big about yourself, you are tend to confidence to face whatever you are going to see in front of you. Because yeah, you don't feel that you are small things compared to the things that you want to see in the future, or maybe you want to see in front of you. Next, when you tend to fall into question of, what if I mess up? You can ask yourself that. You can try to say to yourself that failure is success in progress. Okay, so there's no actually failed action, failed project or something. It's like a success, but still in progress. right? So when we talk about progress, it means that we're going to reach the exact destination later. But yeah, we are still taking the time longer, maybe. Okay. Next is if they say no. Let's say you got new ideas, but you are afraid to tell maybe the other people, and yeah, you just don't want to say that to other people because you're afraid they will reject you. You can say to yourself that the right people will say yes. This is one of the most crucial mindsets the entrepreneur has taught themselves because they tend to scared to start their first action because they are afraid the environment, their people, their family members, or their colleagues are not going to support them or are going to say no to your ideas, to your products, to your services. Just keep in mind that the right people will say yes. Okay. Next is selling is hard. Okay, when we talk about entrepreneurial, it means that we have to make a sell, right? Whether it's for service or business, that you can try to yourself that I trust my clients to choose. Okay, so let's say many entrepreneurs and businesses they work on affirmation to make it happen. So next you have after you already got the exact mindset, you can start to make smart goals. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So you can write it down what is your goal and how you can keep that goal, for example, and also what by the time of that you are doing things what kind of the following things that you have to do in order to achieve it, or maybe what kind of the things that make this goal really help you in order to be a successful person. And then the last one is timely. When will you achieve this goal? You also have to know it because the measurement of what the things that you are doing is really important. So next is digital tools for entrepreneurs. First, we got Facebook and Instagram because we know that Facebook and Instagram have so many users, especially after or post-pandemic, and they really can bring new opportunities in sales of the product and service that you want to provide as an entrepreneur in the digital age. So how can you make profit from Facebook and Instagram? First, you can create a social strong media presence. Like maybe you can make Facebook or Instagram with a uh, great feed, or maybe with the clear brand mission, with the great self-awareness for the audience. You can make a visual style become beautiful. You can also use the benefits of media advertising because we know that Facebook and Instagram offer a great advertising tools, like I have said before. Like you can choose who is your audience, where are they come from, what kind of the age, what kind of the gender. So you have to use it. And you can also use the influencer marketing because like information from mouth to mouth is super strong nowadays, especially with the influencer who got so many followers. Let's say Selena Gomez. She got a really good fandom when she makes a products, for example, like a cosmetic brand, Rare Beauty. It can really make the brand sell much easier compared to the other cosmetic products because of yeah they got a strong founder with the good branding. So you also have to make sure that you have the right branding with the social awareness from the people as well. Next, if you want to leverage your maybe your social media, you can also create and share content about the products on social media because like you can share how to use or how beneficial your product or service to the people. You can always share it to in order to maybe make the engagement between the audience. Next is you can utilize the e-commerce features like Instagram shopping and Facebook Marketplace. It's going to be great for you to be a place to sell your products directly to this problem. And the last one is don't forget to always analyze your result. You can use analytical tool to learn and to listen what your audience want you to give to them. Sorry. Next, we got YouTube and Amazon. This is also a powerful tool for entrepreneurs to spread the things that they have. Like, like people share on their YouTube channel and people sell many things on Amazon. They can get easily many rich accounts and also people make the sell from it. So we can use high quality content on YouTube and we can monetize the content and then you can also, after monetize your YouTube channel, for example, after a certain process, you can also sell ebooks or courses on YouTube. And people, I have seen like so many YouTubers, they sell online courses based on their YouTube platforms. And with Amazon, you can always use affiliate marketing. Okay, so you can promote your products relative and also earn commissions on sale. You can also use Amazon advertising and use e-commerce features like FBA or fulfillment by Amazon to store, package, and ship your products. So you don't have to have a stock at home. They will ship your products. There are so many people that get great amount of money by doing it. Next is Shopify and Etsy. These are the other really strong and powerful things that we can get nowadays because many people sell their things on Shopify and Etsy, even for digital things. So many people sell it on Etsy and they got really good amount of money. We can first get a strong brand presence because when we talk about online store, you have to be make sure that you have a good visual style, you have a good branding from your online store because if it's not catchy, then your audience is not going to buy it, right? You can optimize your listing, like make it specific to drive traffic. You can also use e-commerce features on Shopify. For example, there are so many plugins on Shopify that you can use, and also you can promote your listing on Etsy to increase visibility and sales because the more people see it, the more opportunities you will get, right? You can also offer exceptional customer service to them. You can always use social media marketing to promote Etsy, to promote your products on Etsy or maybe on Shopify, right? That can really drive your listing to become more great and make a good sales. Next is always analyze your result so you can monitor what happened, what is going on. So next is we got the behavior accountability. Let's say you already got the idea, you already got the right mindset, you already got the right tools where you want to sell your products or services. Then we have to make sure that we have behavior accountability. Like we know, like there's so many people fall to the victim behaviors. Like things happen to you when you are in a victim behaviors, you tend to blame other people. You tend to blame the environment, and you just wait and hope everything is going to come to your way. Let's say there's so many people doing affirmation, but even when we wait and hope on a great things, it doesn't mean that things happen to you just by accident. I mean, like we make the things that happen, and it's because of us. We take action, even though, let's say we pray and combine with the action. It means like, yeah, things happens because of us, not because of my only life or only by specific. Because we have to keep in mind a growth mindset. Okay, like things can happen when we take efforts on the execution. And we know that accountable behavior is acknowledge the reality. If you're ready start a new business, for example, and then you got a problem, you want to embrace it and find solutions and make it the new ideas to get implement, make it the new innovation and maybe the problems get into a better way. So you are not going to blame the situation if your business failed, for example, or maybe if your product doesn't make sale for 2 months or maybe for 5 months. You know exactly, you see the problem and you acknowledge the reality. Where is the thing we should make it correct? Next is the challenges that usually entrepreneurs or innovative mind face, like competition. We know, like especially nowadays with the growth phase, we got so many competition, and so we get uncertainty because digital world is constantly changing. We also maybe have a failure, and it's natural actually for entrepreneur, and we have to embrace it. And the other is limited resources. Like many innovative minds might have limited resources like funding. But nowadays, actually, when we talk about funding, so many startups they can even get angel investor. So they are not really in difficult situation as long as you want to reach the amount, the right people to get the funding. Next is managing growth. So and a part of mine, chip success, they face so many challenges that related to scaling and managing their growth. So they also have to make the effective system in order to process and manage their operation to meet the demands of their customers. Because yeah, people always want more, more, and more, and the innovative minds always have to managing the growth in order to stay on the track. So here are the few strategies for unleashing the entrepreneurial spirit. First is networking. So networking is really important as entrepreneurs to connect with potential customers or partners, investors, and even mentors. Because yeah, when we can connect with more people, we know exactly we are going to bring more opportunities, right? And you can get that networking by joining online communities and reach out to the people in your niche or in your field and in order to make a relationship or maybe expand your reach. Next is continuous learning. Like I have said, we live in the world where everything is constantly changing and you can just believe in your skill from 2 years ago. You have to keep learning the latest trend, the new technology and best approach, best practice, and you can read new articles about the new innovation, the new products, the new service from the other competitors or the other businesses. So you can combine it because if you are not doing it, then you get left behind. Okay. Next is taking calculated risks. Like we know that as an effective minds or maybe entrepreneur, we have to have a threat for risky taking or risk taking because when we want to calculate the success that we want to achieve, it doesn't mean that it's supposed to be blindly. It means like you need to analyze the potential risk and reward of any decision. You just because I said don't be shy or don't be scared to take risks and challenges. It doesn't mean that you just jump into something new without any knowledge or without any research about it. No, it doesn't supposed to be like that because entrepreneur has to do their own research in order to make the things that we want to get in the specific niche and combine it with what we want to implement it. Next is always embrace failure because yeah, like failure is actually a natural journey. Even me myself, I have had failure in the past, which actually bring the other new opportunities, and it doesn't make me stop. At the time, actually, when I faced the failure, it makes me stop for a moment, but it's not because I think I have to give up, but it's because I need a time. I need to recharge myself. I need to reconnect my mind and my soul in order to find actually what's the best thing I can do later. But at the time, I know that I shouldn't give up because I like this. This is my passion. So I hope people can also do it as well. Next is there's the other things that most important. We have to surround ourselves with supportive people because if you are someone who got innovative minds and you are not surrounding yourself with the right people, then you can get stuck because those people can be your mayors. I mean, like they're going to say no, 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 no to your new ideas or new innovation. So you have to surround yourself with those people who can encourage you that it's okay to take a risk. It's okay to have a big dream. It's okay to really live in a big lot. It's okay to create, yeah, or to think out of the box. Make it realistic, but still you can be someone who has a big dream and you can only keep doing it or keep having that big dream if you are surrounding yourself with those people who also have big dreams. If your circle or if your circumstances tend to only accept what happened to them, then you might get stuck as well. Like so many people say, like if you hang out with three entrepreneur, you might be the fourth entrepreneur in the next time. It's true because yeah, we know exactly environment influence us so much. Okay. So in today's space, digital world, we know that combining entrepreneurship and innovation is really important because we can create new products, new service, new tools that can solve problems of many people. And I think if you want to make a business, for example, you have to make sure that you got your ideas and you so know that what kind of the things that you want to live and what kind of the impacts that you want to bring in other people's life or in your society. And even if you're not interested in starting your own business, you can always embrace new innovation, right? Because adapting entrepreneurial mindset, you can identify the opportunities. Let's say you are an educator, you don't want to start a new business, but with the right entrepreneurship mindset, you can implement that what kind of new teaching tools that I can use or what kind of the most advanced approach that I can use in the classroom. So with that kind of growth mindset that usually entrepreneurs have, you can implement and you can still get benefit from it. So I encourage people to embrace the innovation in your life. I mean, like you can make it in personal or professional journey, whether you want or not want to make a new business. So remember, right? Take a risk. It's necessary sometimes, not all the time. I mean, but don't forget to make analysis for it and you know exactly when you want or willing to take a risk, you can actually know where is your limit and what kind of the things that you can achieve because sometimes you are bigger than what we think. And we can only see that thing if we are taking the risk in front of us. So to conclude my presentation today, I'd like to say that embracing entrepreneurship and innovation is really vital in today's digital world, whether you're starting business or advancing your career, and these qualities can help you to succeed. And by taking risks, thinking creatively, and pursuing your passion, you can unlock your full potential and make a positive impact on the world. So don't be afraid to embrace entrepreneurship and innovation in your personal and professional life. And thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for the time, for listening. I hope there is some takeaways that you can take from my presentation today. Thank you so much.